Yo, what is up, man? It's your boy Damn D. I haven't reacted to fantastic hip hop videos in a while, but I want to react to this one because it says that why Drake just got glazed by J. Cole, Bass, and Dreamville, and everyone hates them for it. So let's see what happened with J. Cole and Drake.
Now, when it comes to Drake and Dreamville, well, now, if you're ready to see how Lamar, Labrie, and now J. Cole and everyone around him have continued to make Kendrick Lamar proud of what he did in hip-hop during the beef with how disgusting their takes and statements are getting, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and now really. As J. Cole's right-hand man just came out and said some very strange things to support Drake that really no other self-respecting, non-Karen rapper would even think about, and things are just getting crazy because of this. As really now, Dreamville is rewarding a man for suing the genre that they operate in and only using his writing skills to text Millie Bobby Brown and not songs. Make sure to leave that like because we are going to need it today, because right now, what we are seeing is that even with the paperwork and terrible crash out moments where Drake is now suing hip-hop and literally the genre's entire future, all at the same time, Kendrick Lamar has taken lyricism to new ceilings while doing it within the most authentic way we have ever seen. Still, with all this is not enough for Dreamville to support Kendrick, and they are still acting like Drake is the best rapper of all time, and I don't know how else to say it. This is just flat out weird. Because really, what we are now finding out here is that even after all of the beef and the J. Cole apology and then the attempt to stay in the middle of Drake and Kendrick, but really he was not staying in the middle and showing way more support for Drake than Kendrick ever, what the reality of all of this now is and where Cole and his team stands, it's just so far off from where they should have ever been, and no matter what these guys do, we are seeing that in a rap game where people are obsessed with praising mid and sending paperwork over rap beef, well, in a rap game today that has a very complicated landscape because one side is trying to make things better and the other is making things worse, really, Dreamville is supporting all of the mid and lawsuit antics and not anything that is standing up for hip-hop other than what JID has going on, which I will just say is separate, as Jid has shown support for Kendrick Lamar and has said that he wants to work with him, and it really does look like Jid is not associated with the rest of the mainline Dreamville artists and people as a whole in terms of just their ideology, because really what we are seeing with Dreamville's very own and J. Cole's right-hand man and Robin, you could say, and Boz just coming out of nowhere to defend a lame old Karen Labrie. Well, truly, when you see what this guy says, you see how messed up Drake has really left hip-hop and how confused rappers are even about their own existence and the space that they are literally working within. And now let's just get into this. All of it transpired after there was a viral video of Ebro circling around where he was calling out Drake. And now within this, after Ebro saying that Drake does not represent the culture of hip-hop and sentiments and things along those lines, Boz came out of nowhere to comment on the post and said, "My 2 cents, Ebro, Drake is among the most, if not the most inclusive of artists our culture has put forth. Pushed countless rappers to the forefront, dancehall artists, Afrobeats artists, R&B artists, reggaeton, older artists, persisted since the battle. If it's the Canadian thing, Toronto, a hour flight from New York City, LOL. I'd argue their culture and ethnic makeup is more akin to New York City than pretty much any city in the States. New York City, Toronto, London are triumvirate culturally. Surely it's not his pen. He's arguably the greatest writer of a generation."
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, the glazing is insane, Lord. After all this, boy, people. Hey, but you know what? Hey, if that's his opinion, hey, that's his opinion, but Polo ting ting.
So what is it? Well, ever since Boz has made these comments, everybody has been going into a frenzy for so many reasons, but what you can see is the undertone of all of this is that Boz is really acting like Drake is Jay-Z, Eminem, Andre 3000, or really one of the greatest and most authentic rappers of all time. And now really, as these sentiments are standing up for the entirety of Dreamville and J. Cole, because again, Boz is way too locked in and close with Cole to go against him or say something that would even undermine him. Well, overall, when you see this, we are left in a place where we kind of were when J. Cole dropped Porn Antonio, which just makes you wonder, what do these people even stand for in hip-hop? And despite whatever musical greatness they have achieved, are they listening to the same rap music as us and processing the events that have happened in the same culture over the last decades or so that we all have? Because really, let's just break it down. With what Boz is saying about Drake being one of the most inclusive artists in the entire culture, and then he goes on to say this is because he has put on all these different names with features from all across different genres, let's really just take a second to think about this beyond the OVO narratives. And once again, this is why Not Like Us is the all-time great song that it is, because no matter what you want to say about it, it opened up hip-hop's eyes in full to the grift that Drake has been getting away with for over a decade at this point. Because really, no matter what artist Drake has worked with, spanning from Migos to Central C, as much as you can try to make the argument that Drake put them on and he did these amazing things for their careers, well, with this, as Drake stopped having any originality early on in his career and became a chameleon who changed from style to style depending on whatever the trend was, well, for the courtside Karen of rap, and I'm about to expose this, so the OVO stands watching this, do not get mad and just follow me. While again, Drake tries to act like this superhero who is putting on all of these artists and doing these amazing things. This is what they want you to believe, and this is how the grift works, because really, Drake never reaches the point where he has a career at the level he got slightly close to without using the countless artists that he has worked with over the years and stamped his name next to on songs that they were already making, and then he just put a Drake feature on. And this is why with the argument Boz is trying to make, it's just flat out wrong, and unless you have the nuance to take on what he is saying in reality, and again, you understand the context of the Drake collab.
Yeah, Drake doesn't, in my opinion, Drake doesn't help these artists. He just want to ride their wave. He just want to ride their wave. Any new artist that got any new sound, he just want to get to it before anybody else does. And then if that song hits #1, he can always hold that against you. He gonna always hold that just in case y'all get into an argument, y'all get into a disagreement, whatever the case may be. He can always say, well, I helped you get your #1 song.
Collaboration and partnership, well, then you are just never going to see how with pretty much every collaboration that Drake has ever done for his entire career, he just copies and pastes what the artist is doing and runs with it, and that's all it has ever been. And I am tired of people, especially somebody like Boz, acting like this is not the case. Because really, even if we want to look at the specific statement of putting people on, Drake only ever works with artists who are getting hot and who are about to become stars, and with this, well, again, when you understand the grift, Drake just jumps from wave to wave, whether it was with Wizkid all the way to Yeet, and by doing this and not scouting actual talent to actually work with and helps uplift their actual careers like Kendrick did with GNX, because again, all those rappers were genuinely talented but smaller names, who now with somebody like AZ Chike, for example, would never have the motion without the feature that Kendrick gave him. Well, once again, when you actually see what putting on an artist really is, and then you see Drake using upcoming rappers who were about to make it big anyway to try and give him an interesting song or two, well, really, when you break this down and also see how all of the rappers that Drake has helped break out for about the past decade at this point, they've really just been mediocre and lazy at best. Well, really, when you just see the pool of mediocre talent that he created, you see why hip-hop became the atrocity that it did by the end of his time at the center of it. And now with this whole thing, while Boz now is also trying to say that Canada is like New York City in terms of their rap scenes and all that, well, listen, I'm not going to get too mad at this because this is not the 2000s. We don't have Jay, Nas, or 50 or any of those greats running things. But still, even with the state of New York hip-hop, which is at an all-time low in this era compared to how great it used to be. I mean, if this were true, why aren't there Canadian rappers like Joey? But really, beyond this comment, this weird love for Lawbury only gets stranger when Boz says, and I have to quote this one because I can't even say this almost, he's arguably the greatest writer of a generation.
That's
so
crazy.
What is it? And now with these specific...
That, man. Woo! This ain't glazing. This is just dick sucking. No, this is beyond glazing. This is dick sucking. Wow. This is... If you're a hip-hop artist and you saying stuff like this, then you shouldn't be a hip-hop artist.
Specific words. This is the comment that has made everybody just lose it on Boz and Drake as a whole and not hold back anything anymore, because with what we have just heard Boz say, listen, I don't care how this comes off, you should lose your rap card for this, because this is straight up disrespectful to everybody, including your guy J. Cole, who is actually a writer, and at that, a very good one if I say so myself. Because seriously, to say that the guy who only...
So, you're not going to uplift the person that you're under, J. Cole. So you're going to put somebody else above a person that signed you, that you're under his label. That's hella disrespectful. If I'm J. Cole, I'm like, what? Hold on. I mean, are you signed with OVO, low key or something? Ain't you signed with Dreamville? Yeah, so I'm gonna need you to start acting like you signed with Dreamville. That's crazy.
Ever uses his pen to write messages to Millie Bobby Brown is a better writer than everyone from this era? Well, this is why the Drake chapter in hip-hop needed to end and be closed forever, and why Kendrick needed to do what he did, because seriously, and I do think that Boz and Cole are good examples of this, really just because of how passive and complacent they have became with the status quo at the time. Well, really, and you just see it here, they are applauding Drake for whatever mid he has put out, and for whatever massive team was behind all of the records that we saw, and rewarded it over and over again like he is Jay, Eminem, Nas, 50 Cent, Andre 3000, or even MJ and Prince, or whatever other legend you want to put in that type of level. And really, when we get to this, I just don't even understand how, as a rapper, you can take a guy who has used ghostwriters on so much of his material, and really the more stuff that gets exposed from the OVO L Factory, the more we find out about how much material that he really has tried to take credit for while just doing none of the work, whether it was with actually writing or performing the track without a reference. But really, overall, when you see this, it just makes you question why Boz would even start saying this and defending Drake the way we have all seen. And now, as Boz is super close with Cole, and his brother has already been on live in this entire chapter saying nasty things about Kendrick Lamar, I really do think that as pro-Drake as all of these statements are, they are also just as anti-Kendrick, and it is showing that aside from Jid, who again has said that he wants to collab with Kendrick and has showed some support for him where he can here and there, Dreamville just does not like Kendrick, and at the same time, they really miss where rap was at when Drake and Cole were on their little parade together, just celebrating the most mid and awful era really in hip-hop for a time, because 2023 really was that bad. And now seriously, as we are at a point where we are seeing a professional MC from what was seen in terms of the labels, the silver medalist of lyrical rap, call Drake the best writer of a generation. This is just the pinnacle of what I've been trying to say, and what I mean when I tell you that the Drake era has ruined so much, and even while Kendrick Lamar is in the lead, there is so much work that needs to be done, because there has been irreversible effects on hip-hop, and really we are just seeing it right now with how normalized it is to just applaud and defend a rapper who uses ghostwriters like this and try to put them in the same category as Kendrick, Cole, Joey, Earl, Vince, Freddie Gibbs, Tyler the Creator, and so many other amazing lyricists and songwriters. And when you just see the hard work that some of these rappers put into their music, you will clearly see that calling Drake the greatest writer just disrespects every artist who has came out right now and also before him ever. Because not just does the guy write a minor amount of the time, but unless it's paperwork, whining about Not Like Us, the structure of his songs and the bars have gotten to a point where even with all of the help, they are still so bad and unoriginal that they are not even worth listening to, and this is why in this era where we are in, nothing Drake has done is stick aside from Nokia, which was stolen by a smaller artist who made the entire song without Drake's Drake's voice about 6 months before it dropped, and overall with us just being in this reality and this being where we are all at, where despite hip-hop winning this much, you still have people in as high of places as Dreamville saying Drake is a better rapper than Kendrick and Cole. I mean, while this did make me ask what happened to the game I love, is we all see that this is a bad take and we all agree. Well, again, as we are now pushing back on ghostwriting and clown antics and just this culture in rap that has rewarded mid, which got us to the problem and got us to the point where Kendrick just had to diss the genre really to save its future. I guess something decent in hip-hop is happening after all. And so now with all of this...
That's crazy, man. To say Drake is the best hip-hop lyricist and artist of all time, that just shows that you're really not a hip-hop person. Now, once again, Drake is a good artist. Like, even with the ghostwriters, you still have to deliver, right? So I'm not taking anything away from Drake, but you cannot be the greatest of all time if you have been exposed for using multiple ghostwriters, multiple reference tracks has been leaked. You can't be considered the greatest lyricist of all time because the greatest lyricists of all time, they write their own stuff. So that's just asinine. But y'all leave a comment down below, man. It's your boy Damn D. I'm signing out.